Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Writing Tip of the Week. My name is Julie Stigmeyer, and I work with the GSEP in writing support. Today, we're going to talk about avoiding some sentence errors. This is a very common problem we see as writing reviewers, and I wanted just to point it out to you so you can try to avoid it. So this is what we call a comma splice. It is the use of a comma to join two sentences when each can stand on its own. So this means you have two complete sentences and you're trying to join them with only a comma, and that's not sufficient punctuation. I like to think of a sentence as a runaway train. We need to add punctuation to apply the brakes. So let's say we have a comma or nothing. Well, in this case, I liken it to pebbles. Pebbles cannot stop the train, right? So here are some examples. My professor read my paper, comma, she said it was excellent. This is a comma splice because it's joined only with a comma and we have two separate sentences. Same thing with this one, only here we have nothing in between. So in order to stop that train, we can use a few other options, a period, a semicolon, or a comma plus and. And these I consider like a boulder. A boulder will stop that train. So here we can see we are applying the brakes to our sentences. Let me give you some examples. It was already spring, comma, the tulips were in bloom. This is a comma splice, which shows two separate sentences joined only with a comma. Here, we need more punctuation to make a complete sentence or a conjunction. So how can we correct this? Let's look at some options. First, you could add and. Sometimes you might use the word but or yet or so. Same type of conjunction. So you now have a comma plus a conjunction, and this is correct. Or a semicolon, or a period. Or you could totally rewrite the sentence. That's all for this week's writing tip. Now it's time for our mini segment, Did You Know? Let's look at these two words, spelled differently but pronounced the same. The first one, P-A-S-S-E-D, is the verb form. So whenever you're using it as a verb in a sentence, you should spell it with the ed form. Whereas P-A-S-T can be an adjective or a noun. Usually I think it's a noun, but it can also be an adjective. Let's look at some sentences. The past is in the past. Try not to let it bother you. Good advice, right? So here, this is used as a noun. This is the subject and then an object of a preposition. So they are both nouns. Whereas this sentence, I think we just passed our exit, is used as a verb. So be careful with those two spellings. That's all for this week's writing tip. Join me next week as we talk about apostrophes. Until then, get in touch for writing support and happy writing.